And right now, he restarts out front.
Nice, good, clean restart by the front row. Whoa, we see some debris flying up through the air. What was that? Don't know if we're going to get a caution on that, but maybe it flew out of the groove. But we're going to keep an eye on that. We're going to ask the NASCAR officials if they're if they also see it.
And I'll tell you what, Greg Pursley still smoking.
Good battle going into turn 3, and Pursley, yeah, right there, was smoking once again. But, Mike, we talked about it. You run all the oil out of the car. If it does have an oil leak, your engine's not going to live very long. Caution coming out this time by, and I'll bet it was for that debris. Yeah, the NASCAR officials are letting us know debris on the track.
As we get ready to go back to green, Brett Thompson, who was running in the top 5, has come down pit road. He's no longer there, but we have some new names up in the top 5 trying to chase down Brett Moffitt.
Yeah, we've completely shuffled the deck with all the cars up front. Brett Moffitt is out in front right now. Nice, good, clean restart once again. Nice and even.
And how about Michael Self? We haven't talked about him in that red 88. Right alongside Moffitt. Pursley smoking as he has all day is right behind him.
That car has definitely not stopped smoking. No mosquitoes around the track from that car being out there, that's for sure. But almost a little contact getting into turn 3.
The 88 driven for a couple of seasons by Jamie Dick and just got punted up high, and that allowed Moffitt to take the lead, and also is going to allow Pursley, who looks like he may be slipping a little bit if he's dropping some oil on the track, to get alongside him.
If he is, he's slipping in his own fluid. But really, Mike, the car does not look like it's losing any power. There's still blowing a lot of smoke, but it doesn't look like it's slowing down.
Are you as amazed as I am that Pursley is still in this race?
I am amazed, really. I'm surprised that the officials haven't posted him and taken a look at his car even further.
He's got to feel good about his chances.
Oh, absolutely. Running up front like that, he knows he's got a strong car underneath him. And when you sit down in a car and you can push the pedal, turn the wheel, and know it's going to stick every place you point the car, that's a great feeling.
Whoa. I think Greg Pursley, look at that smoke. How in the world is he still out on this racetrack?
He's definitely on mosquito patrol tonight,
wow.
But it doesn't look like he's losing any power. And as a matter of fact, it looks like he may be reeling in Brett Moffitt a little.
Racing here in Phoenix, and look at the clean and green racetrack for Brett Moffitt and the smoke. Is it getting worse, or is that my imagination?
I don't know, but if this race keeps going like it is with Greg Pursley driving a car like that, we're going to start calling him the Exterminator.
Welcome back to Phoenix, ready to go green. We have got just under 10 laps remaining. Brett Moffitt, Greg Pursley out front. Restart now is critical.
Well, that last caution was definitely not what Brett Moffitt wanted to see because he had such a huge lead, but now everyone's tightened back up again.
And you know what? The 5 best cars in this race are now at the front of the field. You see Holmes, you see Bowles, you see David Mayhew. Moffitt out in front, Pursley's right behind. Oh, my! Pursley turns Moffitt around. My goodness, the leader is into the wall, and Greg Pursley takes the lead. Oh.
Well, let's look at the replay of it. They're going up the track. Look, Moffitt's a little bit loose as he comes off the corner. That's why Pursley got in the back of him. Moffitt gets a little bit loose, breaks that momentum. He slows down a little bit, and Pursley hit him.
Caution is out. Oh, what a finish we're going to have. Let's see what he does here on the restart.
Well, they're going to drag race once again. Pretty even start as they come back to the green. Pursley's still pushing that smoke out of the car.
You're right. It's a drag race. Side by side, it's Pursley and Holmes. And don't count out Jason Bowles.
They're
right
rubbing
behind
fenders.
him.
And they're rubbing fenders as they came off the corner. Did you see that, Mike? They were door to door just leaning on each other.
And there's Mayhew, and that's 17. He's going to be a factor in the finish of this race.
Well, Mayhew is probably sitting back there watching these two guys going, okay, you beat each other up, take each other out, then I'll get the lead.
It is amazing that Pursley car has lasted. It has been smoking since the opening green flag of this race.
Well, right now, Mayhew's going to use that momentum and go around him on the outside. Looks like he's going to go to second spot.
But, Derek, getting around Eric Holmes is going to be a different story. If you've watched this series in the past, you know when Eric Holmes gets out front late in a race, it is so hard to get around him. I don't know anybody that blocks the track any better or has more determination to stay out front.
Well, you know how they call Jimmy Johnson one of the best closers with 20 to go? Same thing with Eric Holmes. When he sees the checkered flag or he knows it's imminent, he gets up on the wheel and drives.
And he's putting a little distance, I think, now on Mayhew as Pursley is going to make a run for second place.
Still a good battle between those two cars, and Pursley now going to try to come back underneath Mayhew, but Mayhew passed for second on the outside, so keep an eye on him. He's going to run that top line. Oh, they make contact.
Mayhew does a great job just holding on to that race car. And watch out for Jason Bowles. He's third in line right there.
Oh.
Gomez at the back of that line.
It almost looked like when they went into turn 3 that Pursley threw the car in a little hard and it four-wheel drifted up into Mayhew.
David Mayhew, young man who has bounced around in this series, had 3 different rides in 3 years. Now his second year with this team. He wants a title, and he wants a strong finish here at Phoenix.
You know, it'd be interesting to see what Jason Bowles is saying on the radio right now. He's riding right behind Greg Pursley, and he's getting hit with all that smoke that he's spewing.
And I wonder if he's getting hit with any oil.
Well, if I'm a driver out there, I'm getting mad behind the wheel because I see a guy in front of me spewing smoke, possibly throwing oil. If I'm getting oil underneath the tires and I'm sliding around, I'm on the radio to my spotter to get the officials involved.
Yeah, and it's the final laps of the race. You want as good a finish as you can possibly have. And Greg Pursley, though, still is up to speed right on the bumper of David Mayhew. Whoa, there's trouble in turn 3. That is Wong who turns around. Kyle Kelly in the 7th. Brett Thompson is up against the wall. Ready for a green-white checker finish. The word from NASCAR, we'll get one shot at it. Eric Holmes, David Mayhew will restart on the front row. Greg Pursley, still smoking, is right there on row 2.
Well, you know, in traditional rules, they usually get a couple of chances at a green-white checkered, but this time around, so many cautions, 2 red flags, they said, no, we're just going to give it one shot.
Hey, look at the restart for Eric Holmes. It's a great one, and Eric Holmes out in front, David Mayhew right behind him as we come down towards the finish of this race here at Phoenix.
Good battle for 4th on back. You can see Greg Pursley trying to hold off the advances of the cars behind him, and Jonathan Gomez is right there. So is Augie Vidovich.
Eric Holmes looking awfully comfortable to take the white. Oh, my goodness, there is Augie Vidovich. He gets bumped by Gomez. He comes around. Josh Combs is in it. Moses Smith is in it. A mess on the front straightaway. And this race will end under the yellow flag. And that means that Eric Holmes has won this race. You have to feel great for Bill McAnally. You have a very happy Eric Holmes. Jason Bowles, and I think Greg Pursley ought to be happy with that 3rd place finish, Derek.
He should be really happy. He spent the whole race smoking like crazy, and he still was able to come home with a podium finish.
Brett Moffitt led for a while, ends up finishing 11th in this race. Moses Smith, Josh Combs, Augie Vidovich, all involved in that wreck on the front straightaway. Brett Thompson did not have the finish that he wanted here. Had a good car. And our pole sitter, Andrew Myers, finishes 27th.
And an equally tough day for Paulie Haraka. He finishes 29th.
How about Greg Pursley? Smoking all day long, still with a 3rd place finish, and he's now with Jim Trader.
Survival of the fittest, Greg Pursley. You had a very fast race car, but that oil leak certainly had to change your plans during the race.
Yeah, it kind of put us back. We had to come in and lift the hood, and I guess, I don't know if it was the oil line or what, but we had to wrap it up and go to the back and come in a couple more times, fix it, and I don't see how we made it up there, but it was a lot of fun racing with those guys, and it was a really good finish tonight for the GPM Performance Parts car, barring what happened here. So we'll take the points and go home and go to another race.
2 races out of the 12 in this series, and Pursley is tied for the points lead with David Mayhew.
And look